So now I'm going to talk about rape culture. Okay, I don't like the term because it makes it sound like rape's the rule, and it's not. Rape has never, and nor has it ever been, actually only once in the history of mankind, I think, has it ever been culturally acceptable, and that was as a result of Missouri's Governor Boggs issuing the extermination order in the late 1830s. But to say rape culture, again, makes it sound like the rule. And of course it's not. Most women are not raped. The statistic is 1 out of 16, at least for women between 18 and 24. And the average age is 15.5, which is disgusting. But that's not the rule. Most women are not raped. I don't know if most... I would even say that most women aren't even sexually assaulted. I can't back that, though. I don't know that for sure. I don't know what the real statistic is. Sexual harassment is probably much higher. But here's the thing, or a thing at least. I went to a devotional, you might call it a seminar, on Sunday night where the First Lady of St. George, Utah talked about sexual abuse. And she said that, this was for, the audience was young single adults, 18 to 30, and she said that you have inherited from your parents a rape culture. Okay, rape wasn't the rule back in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Sorry. She talks about a consent culture versus a rape culture. And consent going so far as to ask somebody for even like a basic hug. Or, no, not ask, excuse me. To ask somebody if we can give them even a hug. Okay. There's a difference between a consentless culture and a consent culture. But to say rape culture is extreme. And and a consentless culture, to some extent, I think is okay. I mean, it's not free reign to do whatever, obviously. But, but a consent culture where we all expect each other to ask permission to ask permission before giving a hug or even patting somebody on the shoulder, I think is too far. I think it's inconvenient, maybe even a little bit impractical. Obviously, if somebody asks you to not do that, then don't do it again. But I think that consent going that far is too far. She also said that one way to create a consent culture is to when we have children, ask their permission before we wipe their mouths and stuff like that. Okay, asking permission of our children to do something basic puts too much power in their hands. Obviously, parents can't do whatever they want to their children. But, again, as I said, requiring permission to do something as basic as wipe their mouth puts a little bit too much power in the hand of the child in the whole child-parent relationship. So, to sum up, there is no rape culture. There is a rape problem. Yes, any is too much, and we have too much. We have a consentless culture, although I thought that you always had to have consent in order to screw somebody, or to touch them in their private places. So, I think the consentless and consent requiring culture we have is what we should have. However, if people are not obeying it, that is a different issue, and that may be the culture we have, is people not obeying the rules that are already in place and that are already good.